In this lesson, we're going to learn about the surface area of a sphere. It's kind of an interesting idea. We've talked about how a sphere is like a globe. And when we talk about the surface area, that's kind of the outside covering. And this is a very tough thing to actually try to cover. And the only way I can really think about it is if you were to undo a baseball, if you were to unravel it, and many times you kind of find that it's just this giant rubber band ball, or maybe they make them a little bit differently. But if you were to undo this and you kind of see the shell of the baseball, you can kind of notice that there's kind of one circle here and there's going to be one circle on the back. There's kind of one circle over here and there's another circle sort of on the other side of this. But there's basically four circles when you come up with it. And they're not exactly perfect circles. They're kind of elongated and everything else. But in essence, there's basically four circles here of a sizable radius and everything else. And so the idea here is that the surface area is going to be equal to four circles, which is actually 4 times pi r squared. So this is the formula for finding the surface area of a sphere. And I've seen this done before where someone will actually try to take four circles of a very specific radius and they'll try to cover it. They'll put one on here like this. They'll kind of put another one like kind of over here like so, and it'll kind of fold around. They'll put like the third one on here. And there's all these little gaps and everything here and there. But it doesn't really work out to try to find where to put the fourth one. You're like, well, we could probably figure this out. It's really actually kind of complicated, and it doesn't work out necessarily unless you're able to take everything apart. So the best example illustration I can give you is kind of to think about it as four circles for the baseball. As this applies for us, we just know the surface area equals 4 pi r squared. Pretty easy to memorize. The only thing we really need is the radius, which in this case is 9. So we'll say that's 4 times pi times 9 squared. We'll simply put in our calculator just like we see it. We'll calculate it to the nearest tenth, and we should get this many units. In this case, we'll just write units. And since it is surface area, they're going to be square units. Okay. In this case, they give you the diameter, so don't be fooled. If the diameter is 1.8, the radius, you just divide that by 2, you'll get 0.9. So for us, this is surface area equals, again, 4 circles, or 4 pi r squared, which would be 4 pi times 0.9 squared. We can put it in our calculator just like that, and we should get somewhere around 10.2 square units. The next problems are a little bit different. They work with hemispheres again. So a hemisphere is it's actually half of a sphere. If you if you think about this like a melon, you just slice the melon in half. Here's half of it over here, maybe. So here's the idea. We have one melon right here, and it has a radius of 12. So when we find the surface area, instead of it being 4 circles, 4 pi r squared, we'll basically just have to divide this by 2 because we have half of a melon. That'll be simplified to 2 pi r squared, or in this case, 2 times pi times 12 squared. When we throw that into our calculator, we should just get 904.8 square units. This next one, it has a radius of 15. So we'll just say surface area equals 2 pi r squared because it's not 4 this time because again it's half of a sphere. So that's 2 times pi times 15 squared. Put that into our calculator, we should get 1,413.7 square units. Okay, so this is how we find the surface area of a sphere. Remember, you can find hemispheres, you can find full spheres. They might try to trick you by giving you the diameter every so often, so don't be fooled. And then lastly, just kind of remember that a sphere is like a globe, and if you take apart a baseball, it'll get you somewhere around 4 circles.